Netcharu fam, peace and blessings. This is Derek Rockamore, and I wanted to do a video on how to build an altar for the Netcharu, and this is from a Kemetic Shaman perspective. Okay, now first of all, I want to let you know that there's different ways in which you can build an altar. There's no one way of doing it. This is just the method in which I have used, what I found to be more very effective for me. One of the reasons why I like this actual altar is because it seems to connect and it works with me, and spirits definitely go ahead and they connect and they start, and it also grows. Okay, so that's what I like about it. So let me go ahead, let's begin. First of all, what you want to do, I'm going to be building a altar for the Kemetic Netchar Impu. Okay, Impu, also known as Anubis in Greek. As you can see, this basically there's not a whole lot of statues that actually come like this. This has been modified in order for me to personify, for me to personalize it. I've painted it so that it represents what I wanted to represent. Okay, and this is how I recommend that you do the same thing. You don't have to always just keep it in the way the actual image comes to you. You have to follow your spirit, listen to what your spirits are telling you. Okay, so first of all, I began, since Impu's colors are red, black, and white. Okay, red, black, and white. All right. First of all, what I do is get a clay. This is like a clay pot, one of those platters, for plants. I get this and I color this or paint this. This is painted according to Impu's colors. Okay, you can paint it any way you want to, but I paint it this way. Black is symbolizing the Kamta, and the red, that's the colors, but the circle basically, the border basically symbolizes the Enyun line or the Kalunga line. Okay, so what that means is that anything that's going on within here is Kamtai. Everything that's on the outside is Taset. Okay, now in place of that, what I end up doing, now I will put my Impu there. All right, and for the most part, you can pretty much add anything that you want, that symbolizes what you want inside of here. Okay, anywhere, and basically the way in which I do it, anything that I want my Impu to be able to go to, that's what I'm gonna add. So for instance, I'm gonna add this is some what do you call it? This is graveyard earth. All right. I also have in here some soil from my front door that I'm adding here, as well as some soil or some earth from a crossroad. Those are all different places where I want my Impu to basically be able to go. Okay. All right. Then I'm going to also add other items that I think, that would help to activate it. So I'm going to put 3 skulls. The reason why I'm using 3 is because that is Impu's number, his sacred number. Skulls are a way of, they symbolize, it is the universal symbol for spirits. Okay, so it will attract spirits of the dead. All right. Now the fact that Impu is over that basically symbolizes that he is the guardian of that pathway. Okay. All right. Now I'm also going to add, you know, just other things. This is like, for instance, if I choose, I can add a rock. Okay. That's so that, you know, he's always forward in the forward direction. Always going to be, he's always going to be at my side. Always going to be in front of me, you know. I can also add other items, you know, such as sacred stones, like peridot, emerald, you know, any kind of stone or anything that you feel that your Ampu or Ampus are going to want. That's what you add to it. Okay, now I want you to also understand something. You know, here's some money. Go ahead and add that because I want him to, you know, of course, bring me luck. Okay, so the one thing I want you to understand is, like I said, you're free to basically do whatever. You just pretty much, for the most part, you follow your, like I said, follow your intuition, follow your spirit. Okay, now and that's pretty much it. Okay, now when I want to go ahead and I want some help with something. Let's say I want some help. I want my impose to help me find something. Okay, all I have to do is, and I mean, this is just my way of doing things. If I want to ask them for some help or so, I'll just say, hey, you know, help me to find XYZ, help me to find this book, or help me to find, you know, this paper, or whatever the case is. And when you do so, then I will go ahead and I'll give you like 3 puffs of smoke or so. All right. And the 3 puffs of smoke I'm talking about is basic, or I'll say, hey, you know, I'll give you a brand new cigar. Okay. And I basically take a cigar out and do this, you know, and give it to them once I go ahead and I get what it is that I want. Another way, like I said, if I say, okay, well, I need, you know, give me this and I'll offer you 3 puffs of smoke. Then basically I'll go ahead and I'll light it, you know, blow from the other end, blow 3 puffs of smoke. Okay. Another way in which I would use it, you know, use this input. And like I said, there's other things in which you can add to it. I'm not being specific and I'm not telling you everything in which I add because I don't want to influence and give you, you know, my way of doing things, because I want you to basically do the work and you work with your spirit guides. All right. So this is pretty much it. Basically, this is it. This is the general way in which you do this. Now, of course, if you wanted to use this, or if you wanted to do this for, you know, build an altar or so for any of the other Netcharu, like I said, the way in which I always do it, the inside of it is always going to be black. The way in which I do this, I always use skulls, because the skulls basically, they attract the spirits that are, you know, up under the input energy. And the outside of this is always going to be the color, you know, the Netcharu, their color. Okay. So for instance, if we were talking about doing one for Jehuti, or, you know, in the Greek Thoth, then Jehuti's colors are like a royal blue and white. All right. So that means the inside of this would be black. All right. That's my Kemta. All right. To symbolize the spiritual realm. And then the outside of this would be like, you know, blue and white, in order to symbolize those, you know, like I said, Jehuti's colors. Okay. And then there would be skulls, you know, that will also be there, that I would include maybe, I don't know, maybe like 8 or so for Jehuti. That's one of his sacred numbers. But I will also include other items on there. Okay. Now, like I said, you know, and you know, before I forget, if you're talking about Jehuti, then I would give, like, you know, maybe a pen, you know, blank sheet of paper, you know, for intuition. and things of that nature. Okay. The one thing I like about this is that, yeah, if I want to go ahead and I want to place, any other kind of offering, there's a question about the offerings or so. If, for instance, I want to give a glass of water, to keep them cool, keep those spirits cool, and keep them refreshed, that's what I do. Okay. And anytime, in fact, speaking of the water, anytime I'm doing any kind of work, any kind of spiritual work in which I'm working with any of them like this, if I was doing, for instance, like a ritual or so, I will always offer a glass of water, and that's for the spirits. Okay. That refreshes them, keeps their energy going. All right. But in regards to like things such as, and this is one of the ways in which this is fed. But in regards to like, if they do something for you, then you have to, you're talking with them, make a promise and say, hey, okay, if you do this, I'll give you this, or I'll offer you this. Okay. And you don't have to offer anything outlandish. In my books, I kind of give ideas of some of the offerings, some of the common offerings. In fact, I'll do a video about that. But some of the common offerings that Empus like are, the Empus like candies, popcorn, cigars, tobacco. Again, it depends upon what kind of Empus you basically are working with, what kind of Empus are, walking with you. Okay. Let's see, I'm trying to think, was there anything else? Oh, that's right. If, and I'm hoping this works, when I'm doing any kind of, like I said, if I'm doing any other kind of rituals or so with my Empus or any of the Netcharu, what I like to use these kind of candles. Sometimes I also use the chime candles. But what I do is, if I'm giving like a little offering type of deal, I'll use this little candle, okay? Or if I'm doing some kind of work, if I want to do some manifestation with them, then I would light this end, and then light the bottom of this, like so. Then light the bottom of it. All right. And I'm not sure if you can see that. Let me move that so you can see that. Okay. So I lit this in, and then I lit the bottom of it. And this is basically for anything I'm trying to manifest, anything I'm trying to attract. Okay. If I'm trying to bring something, trying to bring this energy into, to help me to do something. This is what I use if I'm talking about, especially if we're talking about something before, from the new moon to the full moon. All right. If I wanted to get rid of something, okay, I want to do some work in order to banish or to remove or eliminate, then I would reverse it. All right. Instead of lighting this end first, I would light the bottom end until the wick shows, and then I would light this end and reverse it. Okay. And then I place the candle there. All right. And again, this is all basically, as you can see, we're dealing with symbols. We're dealing with a lot of repetition and everything when it comes to actually working this. All right. So hopefully that helped. Hopefully that gives you a few ideas in regards to how to set up a Netcharu. Again, if you got any questions or so, feel free to drop me a line. As I've stated before, thanks for your support. Thanks for, sharing, subscribing to the videos. All right. That's a poo.